So you're year 13, you're doing A-level maths. What should you be doing today to get ready for May and June? I'm getting a few comments of people saying, should they start revising now? Should they start doing past papers now? Should they leave the past papers until exam period? So I'm going to try and answer all those questions in this video. Now, I just want to make clear, I'm not telling you to do this, right? You guys are 17, 18 years of age. I think you guys kind of know what works for you, right? So I'm not going to dictate to you and tell you should do this, right? I'm just telling you some advice. I'm just giving you my advice as someone who did A-level maths, did maths at uni. There are really 5 ways of practicing A-level maths questions to prepare you for the real exam. So way number 1 is the actual real A-level past papers. Way number 2 is the AS past papers. Way number 3 is the old syllabus past papers, which you can still get online from the previous syllabus before 2017. The 4th way is textbook questions from your textbook. And the 5th way is online worksheets from websites such as Mad as Maths, Maths Genie, Maths Made Easy. A-levelmathsrevision.com is a really good one too. So starting firstly with way number 1, your real past papers. So your paper 1, paper 2, paper 3 that you sit this academic year at the end of it. So like these 3, right? So A-level papers. My recommendation is that you do not touch those A-level papers until around March, April time. Now, you may have some mock exams coming up like at the end of this term. So you may want to touch 1 or 2 of them, right? So you may want to do the sample papers, look at those ones, or maybe 2, maximum 2, right? Maybe sample papers, 2018 papers, no more. You need to leave most of them for the real exam period, right? Those A-level papers are as close as to the real thing as you can find online, right? So you need to leave them and you need to pretend that they are the real thing in your revision. So when it's Easter holidays, right, and you've got the holidays to start revising, right, do those past papers, time yourself for 2 hours and treat it like the real thing, right? So you should leave most of those away for now. Maybe take 1 year or 2 years maximum, but leave most of them away for your real revision time. So we're going to leave most of those A-level papers away for now, but you've done first year, year 12's over now, right? You've done year 12, you're year 13, you've done all the AS content, which is the first year content. You can do those AS papers and you could start today, right? So maybe do 1 a week, time yourself 2 hours, they're 2 hours long, the AS papers, right? See what you can do, see what you remember from first year, start doing those, time yourself, see how well you do with those questions. And then if you're struggling with those questions, you now know what you need to revise from the first year content and you can start getting that underway. I mentioned this before in a previous video, but there are some tricky questions in those AS papers. Don't think first year is easy, don't need to look at those. There are tricky AS questions and those questions could perfectly legitimately come up in your real A-level papers. So it's really important that you actually do those AS papers and you could get them underway, as I said before, today. Now I hear some of you shouting at the screen right now saying, hang on, I've got my mocks coming up. And my teachers have told me that second year topics are going to be on those mocks, but the AS topics are just first year. What do I do about those second year topics? Let's talk about that. This is where method 3, 4 and 5 come in that I mentioned earlier in the video. So method 3 is to actually look at the old syllabus past papers. Now, for those of you who don't know, the old syllabus before 2017 was basically you would have 3 AS papers and that would be half of your A-level maths. And you do that in first year. And then you have 3 second year papers. You do those in second year, and those are half your A-level maths, right? So it used to be C1, C2, C3, C4. That was pure maths. And then you'd have like S1, S2, S3, stats, M1, M2, M3, mechanics. And some would be further maths, some would be normal A-level maths. So you can get these old syllabus past papers on the Maths Made Easy website. So you can just go to this website. I'm just looking at the Edexcel papers now. I'm going to scroll down right to the bottom because this is where the old syllabus is. Yeah, so down here. So these are all the old syllabus papers, 2018, 2017, 15, 14, so on and so on. So core 1 is C1, core 2 is C2, C3, C4. So the cores are pure maths, right? So all of these 4 core papers are basically the same as your pure maths in your current A-level syllabus. Again, the way it used to work was that core 1 and core 2 was AS material, so basically like your AS papers, and then core 3, core 4 was your second year papers, so the second year material. Now, there are a couple of topics I can think of off the top of my head that are no longer in the syllabus that were in the old syllabus. So if you see questions on volumes of revolution, ignore those, that's now further maths. And if you see questions on the dot product or a vector product, ignore those, that's now further maths. But virtually everything else in those C1, C2, C3, C4 papers is the same as your pure maths today. So if you do have second year topics in your mocks coming up, what you can do is pick a random one of these old syllabus papers. Let's go for Core 3 2018. So again, this is the second year material. So what you can just do is just scroll through the paper. Again, it's going to be hard timing yourself for 90 minutes with this paper here, because the problem is, as I said before, there are some topics that are no longer in the current syllabus. So what I recommend, just go to question 1, have a little look at this, and then ask yourself, is this topic going to be coming up in your mock exam, right? So this question looks like differentiation, product rule, chain rule, I think, with this one, right? So if you've got the product rule and the chain rule in your mocks coming up, what you would do is you just stop here, right? Look at the number of marks. This is 6 marks, right? So you do 6 times 1.2, because remember, there are 1.2 minutes per mark. You can time yourself, see how you do with this question there. Those old syllabus questions can be really, really good because they are literally real exam questions. You can literally time yourself and you can get more practice. Now, method 4, did I say textbook for method 4, or did I say worksheet questions? I can't remember which way around I said it. But textbook questions, obviously you got your textbook if you want to use your textbook. I don't personally like using textbooks, but I know that a lot of you guys use textbooks, so you could use your textbook questions, right? And then method 5, just worksheet questions. Now, let's say your teacher has told you that second year binomial expansion is going to be in your mock. Well, what you can do, just literally type this in here, right? So binomial expansion, second year A-level maths questions, and just see if you find some questions, right? So you've got a YouTube video here, so you could watch that. We've got any PDF files. We've got one here from Madass Maths, as I said before, so you can go onto here, right? Practice some of these questions when they load up. Still loading, there we go. Right, so we've got a load of these questions here, right? So here we go. Practice these, see how you do. Physics and maths tutor again as well, so we've got some more practice questions here. So we've got lots and lots of websites that we can use for practice questions that aren't actually the real A-level papers, because again, I think it's really, really important that we leave those to around March for the real revision period. Now, one thing I really do need to mention that I haven't really talked about too much before, but I should really start talking about this more, because this is really important and not many people online talk about this kind of stuff. Don't peak too early, and let me explain what I mean. Firstly, please do not overwork yourself now, like today, right? I've done it before where I overwork myself too early, and then I get round to revision period and I feel tired and I don't feel motivated to revise because I basically burnt out my gas tank too early. Don't do that. I know my videos kind of suggest that you should be revising all the time, but honestly, that's not what I'm saying, right? Don't do too much work now, right? You don't need to do too much work now. Yeah, a couple of hours a week, maybe max, right? No more than that. Don't burn out too early. Burnout is real and it happens. Now, secondly, do not finish all those past papers too early, right? So do not do every single past paper in Easter half term and then it's April, you've done all your past papers, there are no more past papers left to do, and then you've got a month to your real exam. What are you going to do for a month? If you do have a month to go and you've done all the past papers, you're going to go into that first exam feeling pretty rusty, right? Because you have not done enough recent practice before the real thing. So you've got to try and time yourself right. It's a tricky skill to do, right, to get the timing right. But you do not want to finish your past papers too early, but you don't want to leave them too late so that you're really stressed and overworked. So it's a skill to get this right. I would say maybe get all those past papers done a week before the first exam, right? Or at least all the paper 1 papers done the week before the paper 1 exam, and all the paper 2 papers done the week before the paper 2 exam. Do you see what I mean?